So today on Project Shop, we have a massive pile of copper I picked up on my way to Miami. I'll get it out, Pedro. I got a little bit more copper. I was coming down to sell some copper, and I have another pickup this afternoon, but that guy called me last night. And asked if I can pick some copper up today. And I asked him if it was stripped. Look at that bright, oh man, that thing's beaming in the sun. Oh man, unfortunately they stripped it. They got some more over there too. I think they're gonna strip it. They're having a Christmas party at the park. They invited me, but unfortunately I'll be busy. So today we got a little Romex, a little number 2, some bright and shiny, and copper supposedly was way up. Like if it's anything what they told me yesterday, it's going to be the highest amount I've ever gotten for copper. I think she quoted me 445, which we're knocking on that 450 door. So hopefully we get $1,000 for this, or do I say this was $900? I think. Yeah, I added a couple little nuggets in there. Not much, but. Okay, let's go see what we got, man. Let's go mill around the scrapyard and see if we can't find some motors. So I'm driving, and I thought I was seeing fog. Man, there's a big old fire over here, making the sun look cool. I hope they're control burning and that's just not someone's crap burning up. That's a pretty big fire out there. That's like a whole field, man. I'm glad this is pretty far away from my house, man. We don't need fires coming on the property. Okay, guys, that was incredible. I had 15.98 in bright and shiny, $4.45 a pound. That's the highest I've ever gotten for a bright and shiny. $7,111.10. We had 236 pounds of number 2 copper at $4.20 a pound. That's the highest I've ever gotten for that. $991.20. So close to $1,000. Then we had some Romex, 200 pounds, $2.40 a pound. That went up a little bit. Good to know. $480 for a total of $8,582.30. Now I did pay like $5,200 for that copper, and I had some of my own copper, so not all of it was. I mean, maybe 100 pounds of that might have been mine, but we made some decent profit right there. So stay tuned because we're having a massive scrap out. Got transformers coming. Got a bunch of wire, aluminum. So stay tuned for all that. All right, guys, we are back at it. It's actually the next day. I wound up going home and crashing. But we picked up a bunch of transformers, brand new in the box yesterday, which is always a really sad sight to me because it's just, shows the end of an error, you know? Literally, they're not doing any lighting maintenance to the point where they're willing to scrap out brand new stuff in the box. Nobody wants it. They can't sell it. It's just such a dead industry. Yeah, I mean, it is nice on one hand. We got a bunch of transformers, but it's just sad to me. But hey, we're gonna get these up on the table and start processing them. I am gonna check a few of them. I know there's a couple I seen in here that just, definitely look like possibly some double aluminums. So we're going to get them on the table. Underneath this is a bunch of wire. We got to figure out what we're going to do. Some of it's some real thin spaghetti. I doubt we're going to strip all that. But the price, I'll have to call again for a price today because it's been up and down like crazy. But we need to finally get, we have a massive pile of aluminum. I think I'm getting $1.25 a pound for that stuff. Or maybe more. I'm not sure. I think I was getting $1.25 for extrusions. So that might be more. I don't know. But we have this little bit of wire here that needs to be sorted through. I thought I had some more around here somewhere. Well, we got to get this stuff out of here because it's just piling up. I haven't done a good wire strip in a while. And unfortunately, as you've seen earlier, they stripped all the big stuff, which they usually do around Christmas for their Christmas party, but whatever. The wire stripper, I am going to attempt, oh, I brought the puller over. That's where I ended. I got as far as bringing the puller over here, and I didn't, I'm going to try and pull this stuff off without removing the machine. Now, I'm looking at the casting on this. I'm real nervous about breaking this because if I break this pulley, this thing is definitely down. I mean, I'm getting by with the gears the way they are, but if this pulley goes, we got major problems. So I'm gonna what should I start with? So many things to do. Like, my mind is like, I look around here and there's just so much. Everywhere I look, it's like, oh, that's half a day, that's half a day, that's half a day. Yeah. So we're just gonna start right here. I just want to get these transformers on the table and get a look at my wire, clean this off, get all this prepped up, ready to rock and roll. Whether we use the big stripper or we use this stripper, doesn't matter. Either way, we're going to get it stripped. This one doesn't do well. I think that's either 500 or 600. If it's 500, I can do the aluminum for this, but 600, it did it, but it didn't like it. I might have to hollow out one of them holes a little more. Okay, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I was able to sneak the puller in there, and I got it to get down in there pretty good. So we got that off. I'll finally be able to get all this plastic insulation that got just absolutely wrapped up in there. I got to go get a screwdriver to get that off. Be very careful. Oh no! I said I gotta be very careful, and I knew that thing was gonna fly. I'm surprised I found that. I would have had to bring over the maggot. Oh, this chain is surprisingly tight. I gotta check these. Make sure there's no set screw. I think it's just pressed on there, which is interesting because there's nothing really holding it from coming off. I think this gear might have walked out one time. Uh-oh. I might have to go find a smaller puller. Okay. Well, I mean, that one gets on there. Let me turn this thing in a little bit. I got this thing extended way out. Yeah, the problem is, let me see if I got a smaller one. I gotta up my puller game. My buddy has a smaller thing. My buddy has a real tricked out one. What the heck? I think these will work, but I gotta swap them around. So many configurations. Okay, let's see if that did anything. Oh, we bottomed it out. That's what happened. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. That's gonna be tough. Huh. Crap. That thing is really tight. I'm just gonna try to put a little heat into it, maybe expand it off that shaft. I don't want to strip my puller. It's the only one I got of that size. Okay. I don't know if we even got that to move. I think slightly. I keep losing my nuts. Huh. Okay. Now that that thing moved a little bit, I'm gonna try the gun again, but I need to go get an extension. It's coming, but the problem I see now is I think what I'm hitting that keyway is not coming out. I got to reset. Seems like the key wants to come out with the whole shabam. We need a smaller spacer. Okay. We're going to use that tape we just found because that's annoying. And we're just going to tape it to the end. Now we should be cooking with fire. All right. It should come right out of there now. All right. Oh my God, that gear is absolutely cooked. I'm wondering if I should clean this up because there's these ones on this side. Well, wow, this whole side is worn down. I'm wondering if I should weld a bead down the top of these. Huh. Okay, let's see about getting this next one off. Look at all, oh man, look. Look, it's paying to do this. Literally paying. Gotta somehow get this copper out of here. Holy smoke. Nice. At $4.25 or $4.40 a pound, man. That might be $2 right there. Okay. I forgot to shut the camera off, but I pulled that last one off. It came off pretty easy. Here's the deal. So as I was pulling this off, I was like, oh wow, there's no key. Like, how is this thing staying? But the other half of the key is right here, and they basically went like that. That's a short key. I guess it did its job. I mean, that thing was on there tight. Now here's the problem that I see. This side's not too bad. I could clean that up a little bit, get it to mesh, flip it, and it'd be okay. This side is absolutely trashed. That's where I've been running into that problem. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is clean this up really good, because even if I clean that up and flip them, I don't think there's enough left. I mean, on that side there is, but I don't know if there's enough left on that to actually do anything. I don't know. We'll have to get it over on the bench and clean them up. I was hoping to have time to have, you know, sit with my buddy and make a gear, but that's not going to happen until next year or after the new year. Whenever people say next year, I always think like, oh, like a year down the road. It's funny how that little key transfers all that torque. So we're going to get these over on the bench, clean them up. I think I'm going to try to weld just these ones here. If I could just put a small bead on top of that, build that up a little bit, I think we'll be okay. But I think just flipping them around. I mean, on the other side, they look like they're going to mesh okay. It's actually locking in. Like if it won't just turn, so I do have to file them down. They're bent over so much, they look like a wave. So, let's see if we can't get this thing sorted out. This is the worst gear, and as you can see, there's like one spot where there's like nothing. That's crazy. So that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna just put this in here. I'm gonna weld some beads, try to build up. The one side is fine. You know, it's got plenty there where I could just grind it back. You know, grind where it's rolled over. It's literally rolled over like a wave. It's funny. I need to grind that back. But I'm gonna weld this side up real quick. I don't have any real, I mean, that's almost an original height. So I just got to make sure that I don't go any higher than that on my weld so it doesn't like mesh funny. But as it sits right now, they're not even meshing because of that. So let me at least see if the weld will stick to this. I don't know what kind of steel this is. I cleaned it the best I could with some Dawn dish soap, degreaser, some cherry hand cleaner, and yeah. We're gonna try. I mean, if anything, I'll clean it up and just flip them. There's enough of this good side left. I think it'll run for a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure I mentioned these gears were messed up back at my shop almost a year ago. And I should have listened to the internet and flipped the gears back then. But yeah, here we are, and now I'm welding gears. So, with anything around here, you always got to thoroughly check for spiders. And with all my gloves, I usually smack and flatten the fingers in case there's anything hiding up in there that wants to bite me. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, before I go any further, we're just gonna grind that out and see if it actually, you know, this concept is actually gonna work. But it looks like I got a little buildup on there. I want to turn it around so when I'm grinding it, I can see like the original profile. I wish I could bend my vise back. That'd be great. Man, we still on that same 7-inch disc. We're gonna be using the heck out of that today. We might put an end to it. I mean, it's not pretty, but I actually think it's gonna work. Look at that. I'm not gonna be able to tell until I get... I think if I straighten these ones out, I think I'll be good, man. Actually, that rides on there nice because they were opposite. Like this side was high, that side was high. I gotta make sure I put the gears back that way, but in the opposite direction. But what I really need is this side. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright. One, I think this is overkill. I wish I had like a Dremel, you know, or even one of those carbide cutters where I could just get in there and because this is like, you got to be very careful. I went down a little deep right here. I don't want to go down deep and make these brittle where they want to snap off, you know. So that being said, I just have to make sure that I try to keep my centers. So that was what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Not bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a bead. I'll just do a section at a time, weld it, and then come back and grind it and check it, make sure we don't get off, you know. This is going to be a little tedious, so I'm going to crank up some music and we'll time lapse it, and then we'll see how it comes out when we're done. See, this one here is actually way better than the other one. That here is like the most damaged side. But we're going to weld them all up and grind them. But I'm just going to keep checking them, you know. I just got to, yeah, I need to make them a little more pointy. Because you can tell they were pretty pointy originally. See, it's not letting it get down in there. So I'll just touch that before I move on. I just gotta be real careful with the grinder. I'm trying to find the right angle, and I'm looking, I don't know where my guards are for those things. I wish I had a guard on it, because I gotta almost like look right down it, and it's blasting me right in the face. I'll look for that for a second, and then we'll get this done, get this thing back together, and start stripping some wire. All right, let's see how we did. So it may not look pretty. We have pretty much straightened out the gear. Now let's see if it meshes. So I've been checking it this whole time, right? See if it's gonna mesh. What was that? So these things got hot from welding. I'm gonna let this slowly cool down. But oh, there's one spot right there. I need to figure out what's happening. Oh, must be some grime. And I think once it's on there, I mean, it'll kind of wear itself in. But that is oh, what's going on there? So I got to make sure that I made sure that I cut the gears straight and not on an angle, because I did all that by hand. And what I found is holding the grinder in a certain way, I'm pushing the grinder into it with it spinning away from me, and having the gear laid over, and I'm cutting on the surfaces on an angle like that, seemed to work a lot better. It looks like hell, but I'll tell you what, it's meshing a lot better than it was. It was so bent over that it wasn't meshing at all with itself. So I need to try to figure out. That's the original good side. That's the original. And there was one spot where I got in there kind of deep with the grinder, so I filled it back up. That might be where I'm hanging up. I might need to actually, it's still kind of, ooh. No, that's pretty good. Actually, I think if I run it like that, I might have to grind that out just a little bit there, but that is way better. I'm not going to say it's 100% better, but this answered my question. Can those be fixed by welding it and grinding it down by hand? Now, obviously, welding it up and then like putting it on a mill or something like that would have been the way to go. Or just milling a whole new gear would have been actually the way to go. And I'm still going to do that. I got to wait for my buddy to come back. But I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to go to lunch, help my wife with something real quick, and then we'll come back and assemble this and see if it actually works. We got a lot of wire to strip. Got a lot of wire coming up to strip, so we got to make sure that, you know, we got this thing dialed in, as I like to say. Yeah, it's meshing pretty good for the most part. There's a couple, and I guess it would all depend on like where the gear's oriented. You know, how it's going to mesh. If I find a spot that doesn't mesh, I might be able to just rotate that a little bit and find a good spot that something's locking right there. That's what I got to look for. Why it's doing that. I think I need to open up. Yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. I think I'm getting on the table. Yeah, there's one spot that's kind of weird, and it looks like that is just too big. I got to come in there and I'll make note of that spot. But I got to get some lunch before I proceed. Try to figure out what's going on there. It doesn't want to go one way, but it goes the other way. I mean, time will tell. Okay, so I'm getting this thing back on. I'm using this giant pipe right here. Not giant, but you know. This has to go on like this. Because there's two separate pieces here and they both share the same key. And I put them on at the exact same time because it'd be hard to kind of line them up and drive it that far without it maybe rotating a little bit. Now the good thing is there's a shoulder right here for this to stop against. So it's only going to go so far and stop. I am going to take a punch and try to knock that key a little in because it's like fully on this. But then it's only like not even halfway. So I'm going to punch it so it kind of splits the difference a little bit. I tried to look. I had some keys that I recovered the other day, but they weren't long enough or the right exact size to do what we need to do here. So it is what it is. Now we're going to drive it until it stops, basically. Tight, man. That is a very, very tight fit. It's like an interference fit. Now I know why that gear on the other side that the key came out of, why it hasn't, you know, come off, and why this other stuff hasn't come off, because it is tight. If we can get this one on, that gear's turning this way. Yeah, we gotta get this on. This key, I did have to clean that key up a little bit. I might have to clean this one up slightly. Yeah, let me do that real quick. It's just, it's like mushroomed out. That's gonna be spinning that way. So I need to grab this that way. Okay. Oh. Man. I am going to be putting up a big old pan. Seems like we keep dropping screws and things, and we gotta stop that from happening. Let's see. Spinning that way, it wants to grab it. Okay. Let's put this on here. It's so, I mean, it is tight. Like, oh no. If I could get right on it, it wouldn't be really a problem. I'm trying to make sure that when I put these on, I'm putting it on the opposite way. Alright, I gotta grind a little more off this. Wow. So, I mean, it's working. How loud is it going to be? I have no idea. I mean, it might make some noise until it kind of runs itself in. But, hey, I'm okay with that. Alright, I'm going to button this up, put this pulley back on. That's interesting. Do we not have a key for that? Did it not have a key when it came off? Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to go look for some keys or make a key or something at this point. Alright, I'm gonna get this button back up, and then we'll come back and see if it actually runs. Okay, moment of truth. Yep, got it plugged in. There's a bunch of stuff going on with this. I mean, this is all loose. I need to kind of tighten all this stuff up. But it still works. Yeah, that was, I'll tighten that up in a second, but I gotta see. Yeah, it's wet. Matter of fact, I need to do something with that right now. I think I'm just gonna bend it. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, that huge arm there, not huge, but that thing is just on one little bolt. This actually all thread, so it's very, you know, forgiving. Okay, let's see. Haha, yeah! And it is much quieter than last time. Wow. Looks like I'm gonna have to tweak that thing or tighten it or something. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But she's rocking and rolling, man. She ain't making that loud whining sound. I mean, it looked like a Neanderthal made that gear, but and she's running good. Look at that. Wow. So much quieter. That thing was making so much noise. And you know what I think it was? I think it was actually skipping most of the time. And I really didn't notice because the main front two rollers were moving. This back top roller was moving. And that one was, you know what? It was skipping because when I would put pressure on it, like when I would feed the wire through, you know, the wire getting pushed through is going to kind of match the speed. It's going to push that roller, you know, because it would be okay. And all of a sudden it would start getting really, really loud. And that was them gears stripping, man. All right, I'm going to put some grease on that. You know, we want our homemade gears. And they actually don't look that bad, man. We want them to, you know, last as long as we can. I got my buddy looking. He said he was looking around and he might have found the gears. But I would still like to try to cut and make them. And that'd be the shiznit. But yeah, I know why the one side was off. That back roller was always way out of adjustment. I just had to beat this thing over right here. Because I can never see that one. I never really paid attention to it. That's why one side of that gear was still good. Because that thing was like hanging kind of off of it. So I've been thinking, well, on this particular one, the quick fix is going to be make a plate, get rid of this stupid thing, utilize this hole, utilize both of these holes, and utilize this here, and make a thicker plate that comes down, taps into this. I'll make it out of one piece of steel thicker than this. Or, I mean, I guess it could be the same thickness, but I'll weld a nut to it rather than just have that little thing threaded, right? And then it'll be a solid thing all the way across, and not these stupid little things. It's just such a dumb idea, man. And the fact that this, I'm telling you, I got such a cool idea to make this always parallel. Like it's never going to be jacked off one way or the other. It'll always come up, you know, even if I feed wire over here, this side, they need to be coming up even, because it's not so much, I've mentioned this before, it's not so bad with these blades over here, but like on this small one here, and as you can see, as worn out as this is, I've run miles of wire through this machine. If this side goes up and this side doesn't, it kicks that blade just slightly off, and with the smaller diameter, you'll be either cutting on the side or not cutting at all. It actually is very problematic, and I have a solution for that, and I got a solution for a bunch of things. This is a dumb design. Like, I don't know why, but this thing has slots going side to side. It really should have slots going up and down. And these should be, basically the center of these should be the center of here, because the wire goes up, right? Then it actually gets bent up, sent through the things, and then sometimes it spools out of here. It's just a crazy thing. But hey, you know what? Let's run some wire real quick. Let's see, what are we going to do, copper or aluminum? Good question. Well, you know, we love copper, so let's grab a nugget real quick and just see if the gear is going to push a nugget through there. Oh, okay, that's my fault. One, we got tape, and I went more than 80% of the hole. Usually the tape isn't a problem if you don't go more than 80% of the hole. And I don't think I got this pushed down hard enough. Okay. Let's crank down on this a little bit. Yeah, I didn't tighten that all the way up. I slammed this thing and bottom it out so that thing can't come up. Because that, when that does come up, it's problematic. We are already stripping our gears. All right. Next size holes, a little, see, that's the problem with this machine. This machine needs like 2 more holes to really accommodate all the size wires in an efficient way. What the heck? This thing hasn't been used in a while, man. Let's try again. It actually cut it through on the first one, but it's like, it's sticking to it. I don't know if it's burnt or what, but you can see sometimes it's either the wire got really hot, but it's like literally molded to the wire. All right, let's see what else we got here. See, this is the stuff they stripped on me, man. Big boy stuff here. I think this is 500. This is 400. Let's see. Should we attempt the same hole now? Flawless. It pulled that right through. Okay, I'm super stoked about that. I'm pretty sure we're going to get quite a bit of life out of them gears now that they're I mean, I don't know, they're not rolled over. Those rolled over gears lasted like about a year. So when they start rolling back over, this time I'll preemptively flip them over. This thing definitely needs a work over. And then yes, one day I will pull the thing and get to all that wire that's down. I mean, it's just tons and tons of wire down there. There's a hole right there. And yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break real quick. That's gonna be it for this video. I'm sure it's probably about that time. Stay tuned because I'm going to run through this aluminum. I think I'm going to strip that aluminum first. Get it out of my life. I just want it gone. And then I'm going to mill through. Unfortunately, that's aluminum. I got to weigh. Matter of fact, I got to weigh all this. Well, I know what the whole thing weighed, but I'll deduct the this stuff here. This is all number 2. So I can't be paying number 1 price for that. Unfortunately, that's kind of sad. Now this spaghetti here, I might just off it as is. I don't know. But the price of copper, $4.45. I don't know, man. What do you think? Should we strip it? Put some miles on that new gear? I don't know, man. We'll check it out. We'll see what's going on. Let me know what you think. We're gonna strip wire. Well, now that I didn't bust them transformers because I got to put that back on there, and I just didn't want. I wanted all the room I could. So I'll clean this stuff up. We'll get that pump back over here. Probably gonna blow through these transformers real quick because that is easy money and easy copper in the bucket. And nothing makes my wife happier than putting copper in the bucket. So we want to do that. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Originally I was gonna try to pull 500 pounds of copper today. We're losing light quick, so that gear took a little bit longer. But you know what? Who else makes their own gear? You know. Yeah, now that I'm an expert gear maker, I might open a business. Big D's Custom Gears. You strip it, we make it. Anyway, I might set myself like a 400-pound goal, man. Let's see if we can't get 400 pounds of copper. I mean, that's going to be a stretch with the limited amount of copper we have here. Let's go conservative. 300 pounds of copper between number 1, bright and shiny, number 2. And I'm going to say an easy 200 pounds of this. Maybe that might even be 300 pounds. It's $1.25 a pound. And I got some big stuff down there. Now, let's say, that's got to be 400 pounds there. I kind of know what this stuff weighed. I can go back and look at my ticket, but this is accumulation for probably 2 months of aluminum wire. And I got some in there. We'll have to cut that up with the jaw or something to get it out. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm kind of hungry and thirsty. And I'm super stoked that the Copper King is probably the quietest it's been in a long, long time. Now I need to find my I need to find a what do you call it, a grease gun, because I don't know what I'm hearing. Matter of fact, let me check. I'm gonna pull this belt off real quick. I don't know if it's that motor making all that noise. Okay, the motor sounds good. We got a lot of noise just coming from all this stuff. Those bearings, I was turning them when I had all this off. The bearings in here, these sealed bearings, seem like they're okay. I'm thinking it's these bearings down in here. I don't know. What we'll have to do is I gotta keep an eye on that. Make sure that stays in the thing. I got something way nicer for that I got from my buddy. I gotta find it. I got so much stuff, man. And the problem is I'm so unorganized right now because I really don't have a place for everything. It's like I know I have something, but I have no idea where it is. And then I sit there and I try to find it, and I spend 20, 30 minutes. I waste time, and then I get frustrated. And I need to just spend that time organizing. It's going to be hectic the next 2 weeks, but I'm going to have a good week at Christmas time. Because my Miami yard shuts down like the day before Christmas or something, and they don't open up until after New Year's. So every year I get a good week to clean, sort, maintain stuff. Probably when I'm gonna pour some concrete and try to fix as much equipment as I can. While that's curing, I can, you know, attempt to sort some things. Definitely gonna have to fix the press. Probably gonna weld, like, you know, drill a hole in a plate and weld it on there. I actually have some long, and a couple people in the comments were saying something about why this is cut and crooked and all that stuff. There's multiple reasons for it. The camera doesn't really do any justice, but one reason, I've been placing those stators down on this thing. This, I noticed, is bent. So that's not straight. The holder for the blade has a bow in it. So depending on which way you put it in, that's not straight. The holes here are wallowed out. Now, granted, that beam there, I have a jack over there. I usually jack it up as hard as I can, because when this presses down, it likes to push up. So I jack it up preemptively so it doesn't do that. But if you look at them holes, it's a hole. This thing can move. There's like so much movement and so much stuff going on that it's really hard to kind of nail down. It's like a combination of everything, because some of them strip, some of them split perfect, some of them I just hit one, others it would start going off, and then it's like, and some of it might be that it's actually deforming the things as it's going. You know, it's like a bunch of stuff that's going on here. So I actually need to grind these welds and remove this plate, see if I can't straighten it and reinforce it so when it sits, or just I need to do something else, get a bigger plate is what I really need, something 3/4 inch to 1 inch, and reinforce it on top of that, so that it just, there's just no way it can bend. Anyway, that's just another project for another time. We got so much going on. I need to start pulling some copper, putting it in the bucket. So that's what we're going to do. And let me know what you think about that gear, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dancing before?